Okay, guys, we're back again. Um, we're actually at the foothills of the Sierra Nevada now, but we're still looking back, trying to catch you up on what we've done. Last video dealt with the Icefield Parkway and all that stuff, so a lot has gone on. We want to catch you up a little bit, and we're just trying to give you we're not trying to do multiple takes. A little while ago, we're talking about what should we talk about, and we're getting too complicated. We're just going to fill you in. So we headed west to get out to Vancouver because we wanted to meet Anna's cousin who flew up from the Bay Area. And we knew we had to be there in 3 weeks from the time we had left home, which incidentally we're 36 days now, roughly, on the road. So we got out there to meet her, but we were on the West Coast. We said, let's check out Vancouver. We've never been there. So basically all we did was drive downtown and found one of the main streets, Main Street. We wanted to eat fresh fish from the coast. So basically we found a pretty cool place called the Fish Counter. Had fish and walked up and down, the street, just kind of getting a feel for the area, and it was pretty nice feel, and then drove down to the business district. But that's really all we did with the town of Vancouver. And we were also going to stay out on what is called the Sunshine Coast with Diane, Anna's cousin, friends of hers out there. So we spent some time out there, and Anna can tell you some about that.
Yeah, we went hiking. We met them for church, which was really fantastic. We met Suzette and Mike's whole family, which was really neat, and spent some time with them and had some great food. Met Suzette's mother, who is from England, and we had an amazing dinner, an amazing English dinner, and got to talk about bears and how we wanted to see bears, and how Mike and his father-in-law said, well, we chase bears. And then we had heard that just before dinner, just before we got there, he had to chase a bear out of his apple tree. And so we all went outside to go look to see if the bear was still hanging around, which was kind of, a little bit nerve-wracking because I didn't have my bear spray with me at the time, though it was in the van. But it was really good. Like I said, we got to go hiking on trails that were right along the Pacific Ocean, and it was really cool.
So from there, we hung out there and we spent some time in Linden. We came across after 2 weeks back into America, back into the U.S., and stayed with more friends of Diane's in Linden. Wonderful, wonderful couple. And then we took a couple of days down in Seattle. And Anna wanted to go to the original Starbucks out in Pike Place. What is it called? Pike Place Market. Mm-hmm. And so we got to do that. But she's going to tell you more about what we did in Seattle.
Okay, so again, we had fish because we had heard about Ivers, and I have a friend back at my Starbucks, Patrick, and he's from Seattle, and he said if you go to Seattle to Pike Place, you need to try Ivers fish and chips. So we did, and that was really good. But we got to go to Pike Place, and at first it was a bit of a puzzle trying to get from our parking spot, which was right along the coast, and into the market. And it really is, indoor, outdoor, spread out. It was really cool, and a lot of cool shops, but it almost took me back to like 1970s with a lot of stuff there. But on my bucket list was to go visit Pike Place. And we went to the Pike Place store, and the people there were really kind. I told them I was a visiting barista, and they were just welcomed us. And not only that, I decided of all the stuff that they were selling, I really wanted a bag. Because, I carry all my Starbucks stuff around, and I have my Starbucks bag. Well, then they were kind enough, at my husband's request, to all sign it. And so that was really neat. And then one lady said, oh, you've got to go visit the roastery. And I thought, well, what's that? And she said, it's 10 blocks away, but it's worth it. So we went to the roastery, which is a roasting plant where they roast, 95% of all reserved coffees. So we got to see that. You could see the roasting machines. And then not only is it a roastery, but it also is a reserve store. And then it's also a night Starbucks, which means they also serve alcohol. And so they have all kinds of unique things that you can't find at other stores, let alone other reserve stores or at the regular Starbucks stores. They sold pizza by the slice. They sold salads that they made right there. They have a bakery right there where they make all their fresh bread. And I got to have, what was it? It was like an olive wand. It was just delicious. It was just this piece of bread that was just twisted in with olives and olive oil, and you get to dip it. And Joel got to have, what was it that you had? Italian?
I think it consisted of 100% sugar.
It was cannoli.
So
cannoli.
It was good. Yeah, cannoli. So that's what.
Freshly made cannoli right there. So we're talking mucho delicioso.
One thing we didn't mention, which was really cool, was taking the ferry from the mainland, which is still the mainland, over to Sunshine Coast, but there's no way to get there. The mountains, they never made a road, so you got to go across the, I don't know if you call it a bay or the inlet or whatever. So we got to ride on a ferry for the first time, and we did that up in the UP when we started out this trip to look at pictured rocks. But the cool thing was we drove our car onto the ferry, and for this homie at least, that was something new. Something exciting to do. So you pull up, like if you're going, well, we know, those of you who are around us know Cedar Point, you pull up to the gate and you pay for parking or the ticket or whatever. Well, that's all you do. You just pull up and pay, and they say, okay, pull up in the lane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just pull up, get in line, and then all the cars drive right onto the ferry. Bumper to bumper, you get out.
Bumper to bumper,
yeah.
like 1 inch apart.
Yeah, and then you get out and you go upstairs, you can go shopping, you can go out on the deck and just enjoy the view. You can eat at the restaurant, so that was a real cool experience for us, and it's a way of life here.
In fact, they do it, they commute
all the
that
time.
way. They commute
in fact,
that way
Diane's
with their vehicles.
friend, that's how she gets around, rides the ferry all the time. Very efficient, and in fact, the second day we went to Seattle, we did it on our own. Just Anna and I and her cousin Diane. We took another ferry into Seattle, just north of Seattle, and it's just so easy to do. And that was quite a cool experience. In fact, regarding that, we're gonna show you a video right now of Anna talking with Diane about van life while riding on the ferry. So watch that, and hey, Sanchez's, welcome. We heard you guys are watching.
Frank, Hillary.
Don't know why you moved away from us. I know it wasn't us.
But we've got a van. You might find us in your front yard.
Yeah, we'll be boondocking right out in your front yard. Anyway, watch that video, and then we'll catch you up on, the coast, what we did along the Oregon coast. We decided to do that instead of going into Idaho. Flexibility that we were afforded, and learn some new things about harvesting cranberries. And when you get our age, I guess that's what's fun. I don't know. So see you again.
Hey everyone, so here we are, and we're in Washington, and we're actually heading towards Seattle on a ferry. And what's so cool is that our van is also on this ferry. But not only our van, we have a very special visitor, and that is Diane, my cousin. Diane is from California, and when we told her about our trip, she was so excited. She wanted to be a part of it. So,
and they made me come on the ferry, but I was very comfortable doing the van life because I had a driver up front, I had an assistant in the passenger seat passing back snacks, I had a little fan on, I'm propped up on pillows. Life is good. I was tempted to call in sick this next week and just carry on.
So here's my question, Di. What do you think? I mean, you know us. You know us very well. You've been to our home many times. You have traveled with us around California. What do you think of the comforts of our van life?
I think you need to do it again next year and build a bunk bed because I am so in to doing this van life. It is, you have to see it to believe it, and that's why one of the reasons I wanted to meet them, to see it in person and for real, and to travel a few days, and it's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so and before we conclude, I just really want to say, I want to give a shout out to Mike and Suzette, who hosted us up on the Sunshine Coast in British Columbia, and to Steve and Maureen, who hosted us in Linden, just north of Seattle. You guys, you've blessed us.
Amazing
You gave us a good 5 days. We love you guys.